Hi there, this is Joe Herman, and this is my camera, the Panasonic Lumix FZ2500. Now, I've had this camera for about a year now, and I wanted to tell you about it and sort of what I thought about it. First, let me get into how I got the camera. So I went to B&H one day. I wanted to get a new camera that would be able to shoot video because I wanted a really good video capabilities in the camera. But I didn't want to get a video camera because I wanted to also shoot some stills, use it to shoot some stills as well. And basically, so I walked in there. I was thinking about getting some sort of a camera with interchangeable lenses, but my primary focus was and is video. So I walked over to the guy, and he asked me what I wanted to do, what I was interested in doing. I obviously told him I wanted to shoot video, so then I told him about some of the cameras that I was thinking of getting, and he said, have you ever thought about getting a bridge camera? So at that time I really had no idea what a bridge camera was. I'm still not sure really why they call it a bridge camera. Maybe because it bridges the gap between interchangeable lenses and non-interchangeable lenses, or bridges the gap between video cameras and still cameras. But in any case, I said, no, what's a bridge camera? So he explained to me that a bridge camera has a fixed lens. You can't, change the lenses. And it has a very powerful lens. Now, if you look at the Panasonic FZ2500, I'm going to turn the camera on. You'll notice I'm also going to take off this lens hood here, which kind of like, a lot of people put it in on this way as well, or you could just leave it off. But you can see, let's just take it off for the time being. You can see that this has like a really big lens on it. It's a 24 to 480 lens. It's written right on there. So it's like super zoom, you get out really tight, you can go in really close even if you're really far away. The thing is that made a lot of sense to me, because actually, he asked me, how many lenses are you planning to buy and which lenses do you have already? I said, I really don't have any lenses right now. I'll probably just use it with the kit lens for as long as I can before I got into knowing what this bridge camera was all about. And he was like, well, the thing about a bridge camera is that you've got this one lens, and it can almost do it all, and you never have to change the lens. So that appealed to me. It sort of made sense to me. Okay, well, I don't have to deal with lenses now. But and look at this Leica lens on this thing. This is a big hunk of glass here. This is a really huge and good lens on this camera. What's really great about this camera, though, is that it has really professional level video capabilities, as well as still capabilities. Now, I got the camera, like I said, about a year ago, and it still has great things about it that you would want to have. Okay, one of them, for example, it has built-in ND filters, neutral density filters here. So if it's really bright outside, usually what you do is you close down the aperture, which makes, but let's say you wanted to have a wide aperture so you can get the background out of focus and stuff, then you could up these neutral density filters. So that's a really nice thing. Otherwise, you would have to go and buy ND filters and screw them onto the front of your lens. So this is really cool. You've got it's off, or 1/4 stop, 1/16, or auto. So that's really cool. Another thing that it has on it, which is great for YouTube, pop it out and face it towards you as you're vlogging or making a YouTube video, or you can turn it back in and stick it into the camera like that. So then that's another really nice feature. A great thing about this camera also is that it shoots in 4K video, true DCI 4K. So there is a crop factor involved. So if you shoot HD, you get a little more in your frame. I think if you go to 4K, instead of going from a 24 to a 480, it goes to a 33. A lot of times I'd want to shoot at 33 anyway. This is a great camera to get if you are planning to be a filmmaker, because first of all, it's easier to carry around than a huge rig. You can see that. I would highly recommend it if you're interested in filmmaking, if you're interested in shooting really good pictures as well. It does really good in low light as well. It's got a 1-inch sensor in there. So, you know, it's not a full frame camera, but it does really decent video on there. It shoots at true 24 frames per second. And here's what else is really cool about this camera, is for about 99 bucks more, you can get some sort of an upgrade. I haven't gotten it yet, but I plan to, which allows you to shoot in log C, so you can bring it into a color grading application and really push the color a lot. There's a ton of other features on this camera which I could get into, but you know what? There's a lot of videos out there that explain the details about this camera, including a great series by an English gentleman that I saw recently. I believe his name was Graham. Every feature, everything that you want to do, you know, how to pull focus on it using the screen. You could drag a focus bar around it, how to use the different, you know, automatic and program and shutter priority and aperture priority stuff on there. So there's no real sense in me to talk about all that stuff. The only thing that I really would like to emphasize is that this is a great video camera, professional, except it just doesn't have XLR inputs. You could go ahead and shoot great video on this thing for professional applications, as well as for YouTube videos and other things like that. So if you're doing special effects, if you're doing motion graphics, and you just want good video, this is a great camera to get. You don't have to worry about getting a whole collection of lenses to use on it, a whole basket of lenses. You just have this one lens, it's a fixed lens, and you're good to go. So that's about what I've got to say about it. It's the Panasonic Lumix FZ2500. It's still a very popular camera. I've had it for about a year, and I love this thing. So there you go. There's my opinion of the Panasonic Lumix FZ2500. Now we'll take a look at some examples of photos and videos that I took with the camera. Let's start with still photos. Here's a picture of some flowering plants that I took. Nice colors on the purple, or is that pink, or is that magenta? Here's that same picture blown up 100%, so it's pixel per pixel, so you can see how sharp it looks. There's a picture of a random building in New York City, 33 Fifth Avenue. This picture was taken on a street in New York's Greenwich Village, which is characteristic for having these beautiful little brownstone or tree-lined blocks. Here's a picture of a nice house that I took one day when I was walking out in Long Island. I walked down a wooden staircase to the beach, and they had these two little duck decoys there, so I took a picture of them. Here's the picture at 100%, which of course means that it's cropped, but will also give you a 1-to-1 matching of the pixels in the image to the pixels on the screen. Here's a rose bush that I took a picture of. Here's a picture of some boats that I took. What's interesting about this picture is that it was taken with the lens zoomed in as much as it possibly could go. As mentioned before, the Panasonic Lumix FZ2500 has a very long lens. It's 24 to 480. So this was it as zoomed in as much as possible. I should have taken another picture actually of the shot without being zoomed in or as wide as possible, because you could hardly see these boats at all from the shore. Just gives you an example of how powerful that lens really is. Now let's take a look at some video. This first example was shot at 1080p. I shot it recently as part of a review I did for HP's new Omen Mindframe headset. This clip was shot at 4K, 3840 by 2160. It's shown here at 50% because this is an HD video. That's because the camera that I used to shoot the beginning of this video was an HD only camera. In this example, on the right, the 4K clip has been scaled down 50% to fit in HD, and on the left is the original 4K video clip that has not been scaled. It's at 100%, and it's cropped, but it does show you every pixel in the image. So you can see the incredible levels of detail that 4K video is able to pick up. An important note about the camera that you should keep in mind: it has 5-axis image stabilization, which works great when taking pictures or shooting HD video. However, if you switch the camera to 4K mode, there's only 2 axes of stabilization, so it's more shaky. Now, if you're shooting on a tripod, that won't matter. When doing handheld shots, however, it's going to look shakier in 4K than in HD. Now, some might like or maybe even prefer that look. That's the way some movie cameras look. However, those who really want smooth Stanley Kubrick The Shining type camera moves can invest in an inexpensive video stabilizer that you can mount the camera on, and then handheld walking will look very smooth. Here's that same clip at 100% for 100% pixel accuracy. Of course the image is cropped, but you still get to see the pixels. Here's a picture of man's best friend, the faithful dog. On the left, it's been shrunk 50% to fit within the screen, and on the right you can see the 4K video at 100% for 100% pixel accuracy. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and see you next time. Do you like animation, science fiction, and a really good story? If so, check out my movie, The Mind Machine. It's free to watch on Amazon Prime. If you're not a member of Prime, it's only a couple of dollars, and your support will help me make the next one. Thank you very much.